Smiths Falls, we are back at you. This is episode 2, season 2, second time around of the second time around. Speaking of second time around, I have been given a second chance, folks. A second chance at a friendship. A friendship I very, very much enjoyed. 25 years ago, I went to high school with my friend Nick Gaetano, and he is here today. Why is he here? Why is my high school friend on my Smiths Falls podcast? Because he moved to Smiths Falls. How about that? All by chance, all by chance. Nick and I had not chatted other than the odd Facebook message, random here and there over the years, barely over the years. We just didn't keep up. It gets so hard. And then he moved here just last October. I caught wind of it. I sent him a message. I helped him move in. And it's like no time has gone by. It's the same old Nick, a little more wise, a little more mustached, but the same Nick, the same heart. I'm so glad to have him back and to have his friendship back. And I'm glad that he is here in this community because Nick is a multi-talented individual. He is a music guy, a theater guy, a puppeteer. He is a sound designer. He is a all-around creative person who likes to make things you've never seen before, things you've never heard of before, things that will intrigue you. And he has a lot to say. We talked for a while, so I'm going to get right to it and stop wasting time. But first, just a quick moment to mention our sponsors. Season 2 of Smiths Falls On, a Smiths Falls podcast, is brought to you by Say To Bakery. Over in the historic Rito Hotel, they make good food. You want to go get some bread? You want to go get some scones? You want a coffee in the morning? You want a great breakfast? You want a great lunch? You want to sit on one of the best patios in town? Go check out Say To. You will not regret doing so. Second up is Howard, Kelford, and Dubois. Right downtown, Main Street, community, law practice. They can help you with whatever your needs are. If it's real estate, family law, legal aspects of your business, whatever you need done, they are there to help. And last but not least, Andrus Independent Grocer. Huge supporters of the community and of this podcast. Thank you so much, Andrus Grocers. Big supporter of local products at their beautiful grocery store. Feed me. Love it. Andrus Grocer. Thank you so much. And without further ado, my conversation with the multi-talented, very interesting, blast from the past for me and blast for the future, Nick Gaetano.
Many things in the world is gross. Yogurt is gross. You know, he like kind of listed off these things, and the last thing he did was this sound. It's gross. You try. And then the whole audience is just going like, as he like conducts the audience.
I think it's not so bad if you do it really fast. I think the slower you do it, the worse it is. Ugh, that's the whole YouTube genre, you know.
ASMR, yeah.
Yeah, ASMR. What does that stand for again?
Audio stimulation, masturbation, righteousness.
That's the...
That's right. The sense it's like
how you tingle on the back of your neck.
That's right.
Your hair stands when you hear something or feel or see something that you find tantalizing in that way.
I don't like it.
ASMR in general?
Yeah, I do not go in for that shit.
Yeah, I certainly don't go in for mouth smacking sounds.
Any kind of ASMR. Like I'm not looking for the tingles on the back of my neck. That's not a sensation that I enjoy in my life. So.
No. I feel it sometimes from music.
No.
Like a really nice piece of music, like makes the back of my neck tingle.
No, I always cry if it's a good piece of music. I always get like teary here, you know, very like. Difficult.
Even if it's like a really aggressive comeback kid song, you cry.
Sure, I mean if that's a fucking sick breakdown, why not, right? Oh boy, sick breakdown. It's so sick. It's so sick. Oh my God, can you see how fucking crunchy those guitars are? Can you hear it?
So you missed the show on the weekend.
Yeah, I know. My friends were in town, and I was like, come on, let's go to the night market. My friend's playing. And they're like, we came for a campfire. And I was like, you know, fair enough.
Can't be everywhere.
Can't be everywhere.
It was hard to be everywhere this weekend.
It was a very busy weekend.
Yeah, at the powwow.
Went to the powwow.
What time did you go to the powwow? Saturday?
Yeah, went Saturday. Teddy, my beautiful wife, wanted to go early so that we could see the flag ceremonies and stuff.
Yeah.
So we went for all that kind of stuff. It was great. So we showed up about 12:30.
Oh, I must have just missed you.
Yeah, I mean, because we were there till almost 2.
Yeah,
you know?
we left at like 11:30.
Oh.
We were there super early.
You were there super early.
I had to be over at Russell Street for like 3 p.m.
Right.
So I hit the powwow and then made a brief appearance over at Paddlefest to check it out. And,
I missed Paddlefest, but they went by my house.
Right. With the night paddle.
Went by my house.
Yeah. Well, we're doing a podcast.
Hey-o.
Yeah. I hit record a while ago.
Oh, you did great. That's good.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the preamble.
So, Nick Gaetano, living in Smiths Falls. Did you ever think you'd live in Smiths Falls? I mean, clearly at one point you did.
Never.
Sometime after you bought the house, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even still, we've been there for 8 months, and I'm like, I still live in Smiths Falls? Is this where we live?
Yeah. I know the feeling. I know the feeling for sure, because I still have that feeling. I'm 3.5 years deep now.
Yeah.
That's hard to believe.
3.5 years deep that you've lived here.
3.5 years deep.
2.5 of those years were locked indoors, so
yeah,
it doesn't really count.
Yeah. Over 2 were COVID, so yeah.
Yeah. And then we moved here and immediately had like a winter lockdown, so we didn't even get to, go out and look at anything.
Plus, you got a little guy that keeps you pretty locked down one way or the other.
Yeah, he's very, you have 2 children when they're that young.
Yeah.
They
Not
just
like your little guy keeps you more locked down than other little guys.
Get in the fucking basement, Papa! Anybody moves, I'll fucking kill him! That's what he's doing these days. No, they just require more care and more attention than you're maybe used to giving as a single person. That's a lot of my life is childcare.
Yeah. But I've been looking forward to this for a while. I've been meaning to have you out for a while. I'm excited to be able to sort of tell the town your story.
Yeah.
I'm also interested and excited to actually learn more of your story. Because, we go way back, but there's a big gap there. And I've been filled in in a very loose, gray way.
It's difficult to get fully filled in when you only chat at a bar.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We got a little more peace.
That's
here.
right.
A little more direct lines of each other's voices injected into our ears and heads.
I don't have to yell so much. It feels good.
Yeah. That's good. It's actually, I really like talking to people like this. Because what the listeners don't know is that we both have headphones on.
Yeah.
Even though we're in the same room and we should be able to hear each other, it's this way you get to hear yourself in the mic, get to control whether you're, hear that, folks? Just imagine we sat here for like 2 hours doing that. Wow, this podcast has really gone downhill.
I mean, I don't know, man. Pair that with a visualizer. I think a lot of people on certain substances would be really down.
I'll just have to start uploading to YouTube.
That's
Hashtag
right.
ASMR.
That's right.
So I went to high school with Nick. And then
Technically middle school, too.
middle school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Middle school and high school. But we were buds in high school.
Absolutely.
We knew each other.
Yep.
In middle school, but it was like grade 7, grade 8. So there was quite a dichotomy. There.
Never
It was
the two shall
7s
meet.
and 8s. There was not a big mingling between the two that often, but
Very stratified.
But those walls get torn down a little bit in high school, I think, especially when you're only a grade apart.
Yeah, and when you do something extracurricularly together, it really helps as well.
Yeah, we were on the punk scene together.
We were on the punk scene, so that helps to
You were a drummer for Disgruntled for a little while.
Very briefly, I was a very bad drummer.
I was a guest vocalist.
Yeah.
On Critical Mass for Disgruntled.
Reaching critical mass, the critical mass. That's right. I remember that bit. Yeah, that's good.
And then you started, and then there was Snuffleupagus and the All Wookie Band.
Yeah, which was like a comedy punk hardcore band.
Yeah, which was with Ian, our mutual friend, and one of the only other people I still talk to from high school.
Yeah.
There's Ian, and every once in a while I connect with Dan still. Dano.
Oh, yeah, you still see Dano.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, he came to visit me here once.
No.
Last Mother's Day.
That's so funny.
Mother's Day. He came to the Arts Hub and bought like one of our Mother's Day gift baskets.
Drove all the way. He's got 2 kids, right?
He's got 2 kids, twins, twin terrors. They're like 2 little mini Dans.
Oh,
2 of them. He's doing good. He's doing good. He cycles a lot these days. He's an avid cyclist.
Always a good guy. He was always a good guy.
Solid
dude. Heart of gold. Had a cool car. Yeah, I don't talk to many people from high school either. It's a hard thing to keep up.
But Ian's the one who let me in on the fact that you were moving here.
Because I hadn't seen Ian in many, many years either. Hadn't been in touch, but his mother comes to all my shows whenever I perform in Ottawa.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. I didn't know if you got out to his wedding, didn't you?
No.
I thought you got out to his wedding.
Wasn't
Did you see him out there? For some reason, I thought you had
I was
seen
on
him out
family vacation last summer.
I see.
And his mother had called me during the height of the pandy, and was like, "Oh, Ian's turning 40. Can you make a video for him?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, where's he living now?" And she said, "He's in Kelowna." And I was, "Oh, my God, I'm going to go there this summer on vacation," assuming that we're allowed to travel again. And we were allowed to travel, so we went there. And I knew I had to spend a week with my in-laws. And so I was like, let's see one of my friends before that happens. And it was really good to see him. He's like the same dude, loves to ski and sail and all that kind of stuff.
He's been out to my house here.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So we got to chatting, and I said, I looked at some property in Smiths Falls. He said, Connell lives in Smiths Falls. I said, give me a fucking break. Come on. And then very shortly after that, we bought a house here, and I got a rando text message from you. I guess you dropped my number.
Yeah.
So that was great. It's like really nice to, reconnect. And
I made him one of those birthday videos too.
Did you? Oh yeah, I saw yours. Yours was really good. Mine was like just in my kitchen with a baby screaming in the background.
Yeah. Mine was in this room.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. You want a drink? You want a beer?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, I brought one just for you.
Just for me?
Yeah.
I can also drink water.
No, I brought you a beer.
You're a cool guy.
Hold it. Oh, sit tight.
This is where the podcast goes like. Oh, what is this? Did you make this beer?
I didn't make it, no.
It's got your kid's name on it, though. That's funny.
It does. That's why we bought it. The first time we ever bought it, we were like, hey, it's our kid's name, Mickey. And so we bought them to try them out, and we love them. The beer's good. It's like a Milwaukee brew, in the
in the classic immersion cooled lager tradition.
It's like it's a stronger beer. Not too strong by Canadian standards. It's 5.5%. But anything that strong in the States gets labeled a malt liquor.
That's right.
So in the States it's Mickey's malt liquor, but up here it's Mickey's beer. And the cap has a puzzle.
Oh shit, dog.
Yeah, every single one has a different pictogram in it.
Mine's got like a picture of a chicken on it and some sort of, I can't really make it out in the light here. There's a bee maybe and two.
Here, let me see it. I'm old hat at these.
You tell me what the solution is. You know what I really like about this beer, actually, what I really appreciate is that the bottle is shaped like a barrel and the mouth hole is like super big.
Very large, yeah. They call those bottles grenades.
It makes sense. It's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. So there's a W and then a chicken. What chicken? Oh.
West chicken?
Chicken. Oh, dear. This one is tough.
West fowl?
Fly.
But what are those two icons? I can't make it out. I don't understand.
They reuse a lot of them, and I've never seen these.
By the end of the episode, we'll have solved it.
Yeah, sometimes I have to look them up.
This is great. Very drinkable.
Yeah, it's nice. It's crisp.
This podcast is sponsored by Mickey's Strong Beer.
Oh, I wish. I wish.
Delightful.
So after Snuffleupagus, you started another band.
Yep, it's called Roads to Shiloh. I regret the name now. It's just a bit too complicated and convoluted, I think. But I was in high school, so I thought it was being very clever.
Yeah.
That kind of leaned more into the melodic, hardcore sort of aspect of things. And lyrically, it was all sort of about the deterioration of family farms. So put the lyrical content in a very sort of niche category as well. So I did that for a little bit, and that was a good band to cut my teeth with and figure out you can't just use any amplifier you want because your guitar will feed back, and you can't, becoming conscious of things like sound and how things work in a room and bounce around, and how to transport, why does everybody need to have a giant stack with a giant, Ampeg fridge? Why do you have to have all that stuff? Everybody has to have that stuff. It doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
Now it doesn't make sense, but back then it was a loudness war.
Yeah.
So did that for a while.
And then Van Johnson.
And then we did Van Johnson, which was, I just moved solely to vocals in that band.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't realize that.
Solely on vocals, two guitars, bass, and drums. And I was on vocals, but I also owned all the gear and owned the van. So I was like also the producer and booker for the band for a lot of the time. And that was also, that kind of leaned into the screamo side of things. You know, we really liked white belts and, black hair. We wore a lot of trucker hats in those days that had, different things painted on them. And I think that was my most probably successful band of that sort of genre time. We got to tour a lot, you know, had a label for a little bit. Crazy stuff happened to us in the 3 years that I was in that band. It was like, we had a website that was called vacationdrinkingteam.com. Like, we didn't take it seriously, but we took it seriously enough, I guess, that we were playing shows every other week. So that was fun. But we also, you know, because I was screaming all the time, I felt like I was surviving on a mixture of alcohol and cough syrup and like not sleeping. And it was fun. What a fun time. What a fun time.
So when did that wrap up?
That wrapped up in 2003. We did a 6-week tour of the United States as the backline and opener for Swedish screamo rockers Chaos Pilot or Kaospilot. And we did 6 weeks in the States, I think, with 2 days off the entire time. And it just kind of broke my brain and broke my body. And I remember we played our last show at ABC No Rio in New York. And I said to the guys, okay, I'm done. You drop me off at the Port Authority. They were like, we're going to stay for 4th of July. And I was like, I don't want to fucking talk to you guys anymore. Take me to the Port Authority. I'll drive home overnight. Make sure you drop off my gear when you get back. And that's how that band ended. Right. Just sort of walked away from it all. You know, I think we played a show or two afterwards, and they maybe even played a show without me. But that was it. I was kind of done with punk rock and all that sort of stuff after that.
I can't remember. Was there anybody else in that band that I knew? Was Dave in that the whole time?
Dave,
the drummer. Is that Dave?
Dave Secretary.
Dave Secretary.
Yeah, he was in that band. He was in that band. I still see that guy all the time.
I saw him like a few years ago. He was playing on another band called Big Dick.
Big Dick, and they changed that name now to Warp Lines. They're not Big Dick anymore because people don't like it in this day and age, I guess. And, you know, whatever. Times change. But his son is literally a week older than my son, so we see each other a fair amount. And my wife and his wife are very good friends, are pretty good friends. So we see them fairly often. Steve Lamb, you may remember Steve Lamb was in that band.
Yeah, I remember Steve Lamb.
Yeah, he's very internet famous. Yeah, or was very internet famous. Probably still is now.
Oh yeah, he was a punk Ottawa hero.
That's right, punk Ottawa hero. Steve Lamb, knew the internets very, very well. Great fashion. You know, Steve always had cutting edge taste in music. I thought. Still a cool guy. I saw him literally a month before I moved out of Toronto, sort of in the same, we, frequented the same parks. I was like, oh my God, what are you doing?
So he's down there now.
That's right. He's down there. He owns a house in TO. His parents bought one, I would say 20 years ago.
Gotcha.
So he lives there. And Andrew Butko was in that band as well. So, another guy we went to high school, middle school with.
Yeah. I actually went to kindergarten with Butko.
Jesus. We
lived right near each other. We used to play He-Man.
That's right.
Together. We went to preschool together, I think.
I'm sure you went to all the schools together.
Yeah, all the schools.
Yeah. So I still see that guy. We lived in TO together for a long time.
What's he up to these days?
He was just recently working for the Chiefs of Ontario, which is a pan-Indigenous group that sort of administers a lot of stuff in Southern Ontario, social services, burial reclamation, blah, 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 blah. I don't really, I don't know the nitty-gritties of his job, but he was doing communications for them for a long time. And then they just recently moved back to Ottawa. They just moved to Ottawa a little while ago, and he is looking for a new job, I think. Between we're raising his kid and his partner works pretty full time at some sort of health procurement. She has a doctor. She's a doctor of some sort, not like a medicine doctor, but like a academic doctorate,
PhD,
but in health procurement. So it is like it's still in the doctor sort of.
She must have to do a lot of explaining.
Yeah.
So you're not like a medical. You don't work in the medical field. Well, I do.
I'm
not that kind of doctor.
I just can't take the hammer to your knee and test your reflexes, and I don't get the shiny doohickey that goes on my.
Testing reflexes seems like the one thing maybe you could do without being a medical doctor.
Absolutely,
and not get charged for malpractice.
He's got
he
good
tapped
reflexes.
me with a rubber hammer. So when did you land in TO? Like,
I moved to TO in 2013 is when I moved there.
oh, okay. So a little later than a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of Ottawa people migrated down there.
Bumped around for years, you know. So I was kept a home base at my parents' place. I found it was really convenient to keep a home base at my parents' place, and I only lived there, I'm going to say, like 4 months of the year. The rest of the time I was either I left and I went and I studied in Italy and France for 2 years, kind of like that.
Right.
So I lived overseas a bunch. I lived in Vancouver off and on for 2 years, doing that stuff back in Ottawa, just sort of bouncing around, doing contracts, taking tours. You know, I toured a lot afterwards. Not in bands. I did theater and puppet shows and stuff. So
did you start migrating over to the theater like right after quitting the band?
They were actually like sort of starting to overlap when the band
Gotcha.
was winding down.
So it was an easy out.
Well, it just, I had a revelation, after that 6-week tour in the States. I'd also done a theater tour before that. And with a theater tour, you get to a city, you set up, and then you get to stay there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And you get to like hang out and get to know it a little bit and get to know the people you're working with in the place that's hosting you. Whereas, band tour is like drive, hope you make it in time for sound check, do your sound check if there is one. It's punk rock, so there was no sound check. Show up, play, sounds like shit, sleep under some kid's table where they were supposed to feed you and they're supposed to pay you and then they don't. Yeah. Drive, 21 hours to the next show, cross the desert, fix a tire in between, drive through the weird, desolate Pacific Northwest. And it's just like one night. And how are you supposed to make any friends? And how are you supposed to actually, there's like a community. I'm doing like air fingers, right? Air quotes. Yeah. It's a community. What community? Like, how do you get to know
inside
people?
of a van?
That's it.
Yeah.
So it's just you and these 4 other people that you sometimes love and sometimes want to kick their faces in,
Yeah. My last big tour was around the same time as yours, a little later. Mine was in like 2005.
Yeah.
About 5 weeks, 39 shows in 37 days. Just the inside of a van.
Yeah, it's and you don't see anything. You don't feel like you have a life. And
I saw like nothing. We didn't even have seats in the van.
Right.
We had 2 like captain seats in the front for the driver and like the spotter.
That's right.
And then we just had a mattress in the back.
Woof.
On the floor.
Ugh.
We didn't even have windows. We were in like a cargo van that only had front windows.
Ours only had windows on one side. It was an old like Bell service van.
Yeah.
And then I'd had a van before that, and when I got rid of it, I took the bench seat out of it, and I had the man I bought it for like drill holes in the bottom and like illegally bolt the seat in.
Yeah.
So we had a bench and then like a weird, loft made of foam, I guess, that we would sleep on, and it was no air conditioning, you know what I mean? Like no windows you could open. It was a sweat box, just like.
I knew another band that had a Bell service van.
They were very popular. The thing about the Bell vans was that they were, because they're part of a fleet, they're well maintained, so you can buy them with. They always had really low clicks on them, it's got 80,000 clicks on it. Like that's it. You could buy it. It's got 60,000 clicks on it and you buy it, and so they were very well serviced and very well maintained. And I was really lucky. The last van I got was a 6-cylinder van instead of an 8-cylinder van.
Yeah.
So it still had like lots of power, but it wasn't like a beast to fill with gas.
Yeah, the V8s are guzzlers.
Yeah, they're guzzlers.
I had a V8.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of need a V8 if you're carting around, like 2 stacks, a fridge, a drum kit, which is what we were carting around. But I don't know. We somehow managed to make it work. We probably had to fill up a little bit more, but it felt like it was less at each fill up. So, it was good. It was good. I missed that van. I missed that van a lot.
So what'd you study? You studied in like...
So I went to university. I have a BA in theater. Mm-hmm. And then I went to, in the fall of 2004, I'm going to say, fall of 2004, I went to Italy and I studied under a commedia dell'arte master, which is the ancient, it's like Renaissance style Italian street comedy. You get your Harlequin character from there. You get your Punch from Punch and Judy from there. So masked comedy, they would travel around, not unlike a band, set up in the town square and do a funny semi-improvised show. That's the legend of La Commedia dell'arte, right?
Yeah.
And everyone would have their stock character, their stock, anything you watch that's comedy nowadays, like takes its roots from a lot of that kind of stuff, right? You have stock characters in sitcoms all the time. The stories are all the same, so-and-so steals something, crossed identities, like this, really, really
Archetypes.
Archetypes. That's exactly what it is, right? Yeah. And so each performer brings their own speciality to it, brings their own sort of personality to it, brings their own gags to it. There's always a comic doctor, and no two people play the comic doctor the same way, right? Yeah. There's a comic servant, and nobody plays the servants the same way. So I was really intrigued by that. I went and I studied that for a little while. Studied some Renaissance dance while I was there. Studied some, what else did we study? Acrobatics, yoga, that sort of stuff. And then I came home. I lived in Canada for another 6-8 months because I'd met another teacher in Halifax that summer who I really liked, and this guy's name is Philippe Gaulier. He's really famous. Mm-hmm. He's the guy who Sacha Baron Cohen always credits as being this is the guy who taught me how to be funny.
Yeah.
So I studied with him for 3 weeks, and then I went to Italy. But he sort of put in my head before I went, he's like, you shouldn't go to this class in Italy. You should go to my school. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, old man. And then I went and I studied this course in Italy, and it was cool to be in my homeland, quote unquote. My dad's Italian, and to go back and to go there for the first time ever, and learn about this ancient culture, tradition that I guess I'm part of in some way or another. And then I finished the schooling, and I kind of was like, this guy wasn't a great teacher. He knows his shit. He's he's a huge historical volume, right? An incredible mask maker, makes leather masks and stuff, but wasn't a great teacher of performance and comedy, which is what I was looking for, Mm. So I stopped in Paris on the way back. Some of my friends were at his school, and I went to see him, and he's like, oh, I remember you from Halifax. How did you like your other little school? I was like, I hated it. He's like, I told you should have come to my school. I was like, okay, I'll come next year. So I went home. I got a job at the Herb and Spice, and I just worked my tail off to save up more money to go back to Europe immediately. And then I lived in Paris for a year, and I went to the thing Gaulier is really famous for is clown. So I went to clown school for a year. He teaches other kinds of acting, obviously. It's a full, what do you call it? A full curriculum. You know what I mean? Yep. You learn tragedy, you learn melodrama, farce, all that sort of stuff. And he holds clown to the end, right? Everybody is there because they want to learn how to do clown from the master, right? And he's like, yeah, well, you come to the school and you stay the whole year, you pay me all the money, and then you get to do the class that you want. So I did that. That's what I did. And then I came home and I started working immediately, trying to find funding to develop projects, taking gigs, doing silly Shakespeare, doing some clown shows, writing and directing stuff, teaching movement classes, teaching little private workshops, and living in Vancouver part of the time. There's a big sort of theater scene going on in Vancouver, so I was doing the trek over there. I would live out there for 4 or 5 months. I had a girlfriend out there, so we would, go back and forth, and then I hooked up with this puppet company, and then I started doing puppets after that. And I did puppets for 10 years. I toured as a puppeteer for 10 years. That was my puppeteer and clown. This was it was a kind of gig where they didn't want Muppet people, they don't want you to hide and do the puppets. This was a company that the puppeteers were out in front, and they had a silly presence as they did the puppeteering. So I was a good fit for that sort of stuff. And I worked with them for 10 years. I toured all over the U.S. and Canada with those guys, and met my wife working for them. And
what were they called again?
They're called the Old Trout Puppet Workshop.
Old Trout Puppet Workshop.
Yeah, they're based in Calgary, Alberta, and they're freaking geniuses. They're great. They're really, really good.
So what kind of puppets they use? If they're anti-Muppet.
So these guys are all about wood carved puppets, right? Everything is wood and carved. It's less that now, because I feel like
the price of wood.
The price of wood, but also when they were young, they would carve these things with power carvers. You know what I mean? Dremels and die grinders.
Yeah.
And somewhere about 10 years into their company, they learned that wood dust is one of the most carcinogenic things on the planet. Right? And they were just like, oh, shit, we've been carving these puppets without any masks, without any ventilation, living in the studio at the same time. So there's like wood dust there. Like someone could have lit a cigarette and their whole thing could have just gone like, woo, you know, like you see that at wood mills and stuff. So they slowly have moved away from a lot of their legacy puppets are still wood. But a lot of their newer stuff is like foam and latex and, you know, moving into that sort of stuff. But they were also really famous for, specifically, they developed these type of puppets that sit on your head.
Okay.
So that top of the puppet is here, and then its body is like, the shirt of the thing is like cut, like gauze that you look through. And then the arms are here, and you manipulate the arms. I'm like talking to you, and this is a radio thing, but whatever. Yeah. So your hands are above your head, manipulating the hands, and the mouth of the thing is like wired to your mouth. So when you speak, the puppet speaks, and then you're like, you know, so the stage, the puppet stage is like at your head height, and then the puppet sits above that. So it was really cool. Or they would build it lower, and you'd be on a little like rolling
Now, did it react
stool.
really well to you speaking normally, or did you have to speak kind of like Skeletor?
You had to speak like Skeletor. They didn't do stuff with a lot of dialogue, you know. It was a lot of like, you do like, you know, like a lot of gibberish sort of stuff. So that was
Pangu, larva.
That's right. Larval talk, exactly. And then I got to help them build a show. Like I got an apprenticeship grant to help them build one of their shows, and that was really fun. And then they, you know, I became like one of their touring guys for basically 10 years. At the same time, I was running my own theater companies and writing and directing my own stuff as well. So it was really like, it was a very busy time period, you know. And I started working for them in 2010, and then in 2013, I moved to Toronto to try to get some of that film and TV cash. Yeah. And I got a little bit of it, but not a lot of it, you know. I did a voice in a video game, and I was in a Rogers commercial one summer. And that is kind of the extent of
What'd you do in the Rogers? Was it with that guy who's always looking for service?
No, I wasn't with that guy. I wish it was. I think I was like right after that guy. Yeah. My bit was just like we're driving in a car. Maybe you saw it. It was like always on Blue Jays games. And, you know, there'd be a kid in the back. He's like, are we there yet? And I'd be like, I look out the window. I look at the traffic. I'm like, oh, it's a big traffic jam, right? I'd be like, it's going to be a little while more, bud. Yeah. And then he's like, good, because they got the iPad in the back, right? Service everywhere. Right, you know, they're happy to watch their iPad in the back of the car, and that was like that's the extent of that.
Both my brother and sister moved down to Toronto to similar reasons.
Yep.
My brother he studied theater at Ryerson. Their final unit was clowning.
Yeah, I mean, your brother has always been a top-notch talent. You know, even in high school, your brother was like, you're like, oh damn, that kid like is good. He's like actually good. Yeah. You know, whereas I feel like I'm like not good, but I've just managed to like find niches for myself. You know, I'm water. I can like fill cracks and stuff. Yeah. Whereas your
Chad had his own niche for a while. Yeah. He was the guy who would die after 5 minutes. He had a really, really good death reel.
Oh, that's
going.
Good.
Like he got his biggest role ever is he got not necessarily his biggest role, but his biggest movie he was in White House Down.
Oh, I love that movie.
He's in it for like one scene. He's on the plane and then it blows up.
I want to go back and watch that movie now.
Yeah,
because it's got Jamie Foxx as like the jive talking president, right? And
is it Channing Tatum?
Channing Tatum as and it came out. Of course, that movie gets lost because it came out at the same time as Olympus Has Fallen, right? The Gerard Butler saved the White House one, which was like serious, and then White House Down is a bit more like action comedy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I prefer that one to anything with Gerald Butler in it.
Yeah. And then he was also in Mortal Instruments.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
With Lily Collins.
Mortal Instruments. Not Mortal Engines. Not the one by Peter Jackson with the giant rolling cities. Mortal Instruments.
Mortal Instruments is about like demons and demon hunters.
That's right. Yeah,
it's sort of like...
It's a YA series.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's a little bit Twilight, a little bit Harry Potter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had Lily Collins in it. Phil Collins' daughter.
Oh, she's also in Emily in Paris.
Yeah.
There you go.
And yeah, he died in like 5 minutes. He plays the blue-haired demon.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to like watch Chad's Reel now. I have to watch.
And then he gets stabbed by like a magical sword and turns into a bunch of snakes.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a cool scene.
That's a cool scene. Yeah. It's way better than my career.
Then he was also in a movie with Michael Ironside.
Oh, I love Michael Ironside. Who's Roughnecks? Ratchak's Roughnecks. That's from Starship Troopers.
That's a good movie.
That's a great movie, and he's in it.
Great movie.
He's in it.
Oh yeah.
Totally. You know? I keep meaning to watch Turbo Kid that he's been in. Have you seen this movie?
No.
It's like a post-apocalyptic, like Mad Max, except it's kids on BMX bikes.
Right.
So
yeah,
and he's like the main bad guy.
Of course he is.
Yeah, of course he is.
Post-apocalyptic, bad guy. We don't have a lot of money.
Michael Ironside.
And
he's like, I'll do it.
See you at the party, Richter.
See you at the party, Richter. Oh, boy. Yeah. That's good stuff.
So Toronto, and then you left it.
Yeah, then
you
I
left it all behind.
I mean, I had a great run in Toronto. I got to say, like for a lot, I moved down there. I wanted to become involved in the sketch and improv scene.
Yeah.
Right. So I went down there and took workshops and stuff. And I was a resident artist at the Bad Dog Comedy Theater for I'm going to say 5 or 6 years. And that's really actually how music really started coming back as a thing that I did. Right. I'd been puppeteering and clowning and all this kind of stuff. But I found like every time I built a show, every time I created a show, I would end up writing the music for it and playing the music, in the band or playing the music as one of the characters. And so when I arrived in Toronto, I talked to the artistic director of the Bad Dog and I was like, I want to get on stage. I want to play the improvs. And she was like, that's great. I have 1,000 people who want to get on stage and play the improvs.
Yeah.
But I know that you also play music.
Yeah.
Would you like to be a music director? And I was like, at first I was like insulted, right? Like how, what? No, I'm a good actor. Like, let me be funny on the stage and say the funny words.
Yeah.
But then the more I thought about it, I was like, actually, this is like a great little niche to do.
Yeah.
I got to learn like cool covers. I got to do like arrangements. I got to do music direction. I would play like improvised music for improv shows. And then that sort of so I started playing guitar that way. And then it sort of led me to like, oh, well, there's more you can do, actually. I got into synths. I got into programming. I did a bunch of shows where, like, I'd have a bunch of beats preloaded, and I had a bunch of, like, synth patches preloaded, arpeggiators, and you could just, like, samples on, like, a sample pad, and I would, like, start, like, you could, like, put a beat on, you could, like, score along with it a little bit, sort of loop it, hit some samples on it. It was like a revelation to me that this is what I can do.
Yeah.
And so music sort of crept back into my skill set. And then so since then I've become a sound designer. I'm a music director. I write songs for theater and film whenever they let me, very seldom. And it was, and it was great. And for a long time, I was getting paid then to be in improv shows, which is, that doesn't happen for most people. Most people do improv shows for free.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't ever say anything. I don't ever make any jokes. Or I make some jokes, in the music I make jokes.
Yeah.
If I make up a song in the show, I make a joke, but I'm not out there being like the star of the show. And yet I'm one of the best paid improvisers in Toronto. Mm-hmm. It's bonkers. I was working with sketch troops. I was working with, it was, what a dream. And then we got pregnant and, so we had a baby and I was like, I'm going to take some time off. We had a baby in November 2019. And I said, I've been going really, really hard for the past 10, 12 years. I'm going to just like take 3 months of paternity leave. I'm just not going to take any work. I booked all this stuff up, had a lot saved up. And then literally as I was supposed to return to work in March, the world shut down.
Right.
So then I just sort of, we kind of existed in this liminal space in Toronto for another year and a half. And just sort of, we're like, this is it. We're going to have to get childcare for our kid, or we're going to have to, which means that we're both going to have to work way, way more. Mm-hmm. It's all just going to everything's going to have to change. And I like my life the way it is. Like, I like how much I work and I like how fulfilling I find my work, even if it's stressful sometimes. Mm-hmm. And my wife is the same thing. She got a job with the TSO for a little while with the Toronto Symphony Orchestra to just doing like ticketing so that she could get maternity leave and this sort of stuff. And then the maternity leave ended and she's like, I have to go back to work. And, everything's still remote. Who knows? The whole world is up in the air. Like at that point, we'd had vaccines, we'd had this and that, the other thing, but there were still lockdowns going on. It's just like, how long is this going to go on for? We have no idea. My parents live in Ottawa. we started looking to get out of Toronto. And so it was like, we're either going to move to Calgary or we're going to move to Ottawa. I didn't really want to move to Calgary. It is economically depressed ever since like oil dried up.
Yeah.
You know, and Teddy's, my wife's parents, her dad works in Kazakhstan. So he's like not even around half of the year. So my parents are retired. So we started looking in Ottawa. It was too expensive for us to live there.
Yeah.
We started looking around, you know, there's some really nice, like really country places to live, but I'm not ready to live country.
Yeah, we looked at a lot of those too.
You know, and you're like, oh, imagine your life. You can have a garden and chickens and the barn could be your studio. But, and then you're like, and then who the fuck are you going to hang out with?
Yeah.
Nobody. And in our business, in the arts and culture business, you need people around you to experience the things that you do.
Totally.
So going and living off on like a farm in Spencerville is just like it's not going to cut it, man. You know, you have to drive an hour and a half anytime you want to do some semblance of a gig. It doesn't make any sense. So we started looking around here, and then, you know, Smiths Falls just kind of came up, and it's got a train station. It's got a weed company. It's got a cool music bar. It's got a water tower.
For now.
Whoa, are they going to tear it down?
They might.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to have to build a new one.
Yeah.
But it probably won't be all retro looking like that.
No, it probably won't be. That's too bad.
But
anyway,
I digress.
Anyway, we came and we sort of looked at it. We had a little look around and we said, I think this is a good place to start looking for a house.
Yep.
And we looked and we found, I have a beautiful house now. I have like the most beautiful place I've ever lived and probably ever will live. I have a beautiful property and a beautiful house, and it didn't cost me an arm and a leg. So I live here now.
Yeah.
Man, so far so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plenty of time for it to go downhill.
I feel like I know probably a fair amount about your time here so far, because we connected pretty quick.
Absolutely.
Helped you move in. And we catch up almost weekly, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes more, I guess.
Sometimes more, sometimes twice a week.
Yeah.
Depending.
Yeah.
Especially now it's really nice because you rent this space to me here on Tuesday nights. So we cross paths and we get to have a little
studio
chat.
time.
Studio time.
A little open stage time down at Bowie's.
Great. It's great, you know. Try to get out more on the weekends. We're going to try and get out more on the weekends now. Yep. We're like trying to, you know, you hooked us up with a babysitter, so maybe sort of like try to take advantage of that and, you know, try to strong arm my parents a little bit more to watch their grandkid a bit more and, you know, just try to like be human beings again because it's been a hard couple of years, man. It's been hard.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Still got to come to my house. You haven't been to my house yet.
No, I thought about walking by it the other day.
Been to yours, but you'll have to come by.
I thought about walking by the other day after the powwow. I was like, I should walk by. And then I was like, he's probably at Russell Street.
Yeah, we stayed there till probably about midnight.
On Russell Street?
On Russell Street, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Because last time I was there, all the tents blew away.
Yeah, weather was much better.
Yeah.
A lot more people. They closed the whole street down this time, not just the back half.
Sexy drag queens.
Yeah, wonderful.
Very fishy.
Drag queens.
Were they very fishy?
Fishy?
Fishy. Do you watch the drag races? Do you watch this sort of stuff?
I'm not like super up. I mean, I watched like the Birdcage movie.
Okay, so yeah, that's good. That's a great movie.
Some stuff.
La Cage aux Folles. The drags have a terminology when one looks really like passable as a woman, you know,
and that's fishy, or
that's
fishy is the opposite.
That's fishy. Like,
fishy is like they
could be a woman. Like they are a woman. It's like, oh, like, you know, you'll see a beautiful woman and you just be like, she's a bit fishy. You know, like it's
gotcha.
Fishy is this idea of like, I don't know. I don't really know where it comes from. I just know that's what they say if you look like really, really spot on.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd say there was one who was a bit fishy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. The rest put on a good show, but
that's,
they were.
I mean, and that's not the point of drag, right? Anymore. The point of drag is not to be
fishy.
Not to be fishy. It's to be like transformative.
Yeah.
You know, and be your authentic self. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they were being their authentic selves.
Yeah.
They certainly looked like they were having a lot of fun.
That's good. That's what's important, man.
And then Amber played some music.
Yep, great. I've yet to see Amber play. I'm really.
Oh yeah, I guess you haven't been to a show yet. Eh?
Really
You've seen her at the open stage here and there.
But I don't think that's the same as like what she does, right?
I mean,
like,
it is and it isn't.
No.
It's a slice.
It's a slice,
slice
right?
of it.
But I hear that she's got like the loopings and the,
Yeah.
you know, like really probably very like sonically full, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. She, it's deceptive.
Yeah.
If you had your eyes closed, you wouldn't expect to see only one person on stage.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So what else? What have you gotten up to in this town that I have not been a part of, that I have not been around for? You check some places out. What have you checked out? I was going to take you on the big tour, like we talked about.
This episode, the big tour. Let's see. Where have I gone?
Maybe this is where we plan the tour.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. We go to Walmart a lot.
Yep.
Canadian Tire.
Mm-hmm.
The LCBO.
Yeah.
Your independent grocer.
Yeah. All the places only Smiths Falls can.
That's right.
Actually, your independent grocery, they're sponsoring this show now.
And I'll tell you, that's it's a great grocery store. Really, really nice.
I met Dan Andrus just a couple weeks ago. And,
cool.
Real community supporter, and we quickly came to the notion that he would support this show. So
that's
thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. So those are the places we go. Victoria Park. My kid likes to go to the big yellow airplane park.
Yep.
But we don't let him play on the play structure because it's broken.
New one's coming soon.
I can't wait.
From what I hear.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I hear there's a new one coming too at just on Chambers Street, just north of the tracks, just east of the tracks. Yeah, where the two baseball diamonds are. The Metal Man told me about it.
Cool.
So we go to Lower Reach a lot. Obviously, I go to Lower Reach Park a lot. Where else have I been? I go to Say2 Bakery.
Yeah.
On the regular. I try to
also sponsoring this show.
Oh my God. Yeah. I just gonna hit them all.
Wait, what lawyer did you use?
Ooh, I don't have a lawyer.
To buy your house?
Oh,
did you use a lawyer?
Some guy in Ottawa.
Oh,
some guy, my parents. No, it's my parents' lawyer.
That's my other sponsor, is the lawyer.
Oh, who is it?
Howard Kelford and Dubois.
I used Howard Kelford and Dubois.
They were great, weren't they?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Excellent customer service. And the gift basket after we moved in was chef's kiss.
ASMR.
So I've been to the Craft Witch actually.
Yep.
Great, very friendly store owner. She did not have the hard pencils I was looking for when I went in, but I assume that is a supply chain issue.
Is that like a number one pencil?
I don't know. You have your HB pencil, right? That's your kind of like standard pencil.
Yeah.
During the lockdown, I took up illustration as like a thing. I'm working on a puppet show right now, and so I was like, part of what I was doing is like I should make some drawings of things, so I started to like study a bit of illustration. My mother-in-law is an incredible artist, so when she visits, she gives me drawing lessons and stuff. So I was just looking for a harder pencil, for lines, and then so I went in because I find I just all gums up for me very quickly.
Yep.
She didn't have them, but she said to come back, and I just haven't had a chance to come back because I'm not drawing anymore because we're not in a lockdown. So, where else have I gone? I've been to the health food store just beside that, right? What's that one called? The
Modern Times.
Modern Times. There you go. Yeah. I've been to all three of the weed stores. Where else have I been to? Obviously, I've been to Bowie's, right? I've been to Bowie's a bunch. I've been to the spa. I went to the spa. I got a massage done there.
Oh, yeah. You told me it was a good massage.
Great massage.
I've never had a massage in my life.
You should get one.
Not a proper one, at least. I had one, but it was like a relaxation massage.
No, that's bullshit. Don't get that stuff.
It was total bullshit. It
cost
like $300.
No.
It's at this fancy hotel.
Oof.
It's like, when is this going to start? Are you just warming me up? And then she's like, I'm done. What?
No, that's not. I'm not all about that at all. Through the Actors Union, I used to get like massive reimbursements.
Yeah, they're big on massages.
Huge, and chiropractic and physiotherapies. I used to get all this kind of stuff. I did a puppet show. One of the last puppet shows I did, I had a really heavy headpiece on.
Yeah.
And the designer had made it so that the sight line of the puppet was a little bit off. So my head was always like slightly inclined. Like my chin would be sort of down towards my neck, wearing this really heavy headpiece on my head, and my shoulders and arms kind of went numb during the touring of this show. So I had to get like months of physiotherapy to kind of get that back, Yeah. Luckily for the Actors Association, it's not a union. If it was a union, you'd have dental. Anyway, great massage here in town. Great massage. I forget the RMT's name, but she knows what she's doing. She's very, very good. I've been to the Arts Hub a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Milano's Pizza a bunch of times. I've been to Boomtown Eatery.
What did you get at Boomtown? I love Boomtown.
Oh, so I get their kutu roti, which is very, very good, very, very spicy.
Yep.
I get their butter chicken, which is very, very good, and of course I get what you recommended, the tandoori chicken pizza with the pineapple on it. It's just like wow, very, very good.
Yeah, it's my fave.
Very, very good.
They make a pretty mean poutine too.
Do they really?
Yep.
Well, there you go. There you go.
So does Rocky River Cafe.
Okay. I have never been to Rocky River, never been to the Vault. I've never been to Gerbo's.
I've been to the Vault. It's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
My wife keeps trying to get us to go to the Vault. But they're only open until 8. So if you're listening to this, guys from the Vault, you should be open a little bit later because I can't come at all if it's only open till 8. Just FYI. I haven't been to the mall yet, though. I haven't been to Settlers Ridge.
The brewery's at the mall.
I'd love to go to the brewery.
And the brewery's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to hang out.
And the roastery, too, right? The roastery's right in there, too.
The roastery's like in the brewery.
So I'd love to go there.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, Jared does his coffee there. There's not, there'll probably be a growing amount of things in the mall, but the mall is pretty empty still.
Yeah.
Not sure what's going to happen there.
I
know it's only a matter of time. Something's going to move in.
Right.
Some more stores are going to move in.
I've been to the Pedal and Paddle.
Oh, have you? Have you done a ride?
No, I haven't done a ride, but Bill's brother sold me a canoe recently.
Oh, you did get it?
I did get it, yeah.
I feel like last time I talked to you, you hadn't.
No, I chewed him out. I was like, Bill, where's my fucking canoe? And, he'd like, lost his mind and, forgot about it. And then he immediately texted his brother while we were in the bar. And as I was leaving, he's like, okay, you want one? He'll sell it to you this week. And
nice.
I was like, great. So I went over, I picked it up. Just delightful, man. I live right on the river, right?
Yeah, So can you tie it up like right back?
Yeah, I could. I take it out of the water. I pull it out of the water. Bring it to my yard. I don't want people thinking this is like a communal type canoe, but
it's like fiberglass, wood?
Fiberglass. Yeah, fiberglass. Easy to repair, which is what I like about it too,
Yeah.
And we don't need anything crazy. We're not like going on like portage trips or anything. We just want to like pedal down to the locks, paddle up to the other way. And
even if you were a fiberglass light, you know.
That's right. Carry it over your shoulders.
That's what I would want to portage with.
But no, I don't camp at all. I hate that shit. Do not have any tolerance for camping at all. I'm sure a lot of people love it. You can edit this out of the podcast, I guess, if this is going to turn people against me. But fuck camping.
I'm a camper.
Okay.
I'm not offended if somebody doesn't like it. I can totally understand why somebody wouldn't like it. I camp in a trailer.
That's not camping.
It's
like,
camping.
When people talk about camping,
I'm
it's
on
like,
a campsite.
We're going to go in a tent and sleep on a twig, and a raccoon's going to eat our food.
Yeah, they're more hardcore than me, I guess. But I mean,
no, you're like glamping, man. You're glamping.
Yeah, we admit that we are glamping for sure.
Yeah,
but it's nice. Like there have been some summers where we've actually just gotten a campsite pretty close to home. Mm-hmm. Not even on like my vacay. I've just kept working.
Yeah,
and then instead of going home at the end of the day, I just go to the campsite.
That's good.
We got a trailer. It's got a stove. It's got a fridge.
I mean, that's more amenities than you're already thinking.
We got power. We got water.
Yeah, that's not. It's
a mobile cottage. It's like a mobile cottage.
I love cottages. I love the idea of a trailer. Like I've been trailer camping, like trailer hunting as well, which is really fun.
Yeah. I'm not going back to a tent.
No, I just don't do tents. I'm sorry. I don't do tents until society crumbles. Then we can talk about a tent again,
Well, it's not going to keep the zombies out.
That's not, exactly. I'll stay in my brick house. Thank you very much. Chop down the front stairways, all that sort of stuff. I read my World War Z. Yeah, I'm trying to think of where else I've been. I think that's the extent. Been to the VRL station. Keep meaning to go to the Chinese restaurant out on the edge of town. I'd like to get some Chinese food sooner rather than later. And I hear there's a new Indian place opening up.
There is.
Yeah.
Sagar.
We were asking about it the other day to a friend, and she said, oh, no, that's the... We're like, too bad the Indian place is gone. And she's like, no, they're going to open up. They just got a bad contractor.
Right.
Before who skipped town.
Yeah, they were supposed to be open a while ago, I think. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I would love to get some, real Indian food in me. That would be really...
That place used to be it was the KFC.
Of course, you can tell by the top, right? Yeah. They're very specific in the way they constructed those places. So, I've been to the Score. You been to the Score?
Oh, yeah. Score's great.
Oh, that place is awesome.
Some really good finds there.
I've been to the Sew and Save. They fixed my winter coat this year.
I haven't been there.
Lanark Sew and Save. I've been to the Giant Tiger. Oh, I've been to the Giant Tiger so much. Yeah, and I cross Old Slides Lock a lot. Old Slides Lock is like that's my jam. You know, that's it. You know, I feel like I know the town.
Yeah.
Like I don't know the town. I don't know anybody here other than you.
Yep.
But you know, I know all the streets now. I know all the streets.
Well, that's good. I can still give you a pretty good little tour. Show you show you some spots.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
There's the Cataraqui Trail.
Been on that. Been on the Cataraqui Trail.
Yeah. All right.
Been on the trail.
I should show you the theater.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got to get a tour of the theater.
Right?
I haven't reached out to anybody yet. I'm still getting my bearings. I'm trying to be very conscious of being from a big city, but like coming from living in a big city and then moving somewhere smaller, a bit more insular. And I don't want to get a reputation for stepping on people's toes. I don't want to come here and think that I'm throwing my weight around or something and like trying to tell people that have lived here their whole lives, like, this is what you need, like that's not how to operate, this is what I've learned over many mistakes in my life. This is not a good way to operate. So, I'll be reaching out to the theater soon enough to
you want to talk to Catherine at the theater.
There you go.
She's the one to talk to.
I'd love to get a little tour of that place.
Yeah, she'd be glad to give you a tour. She's great.
I'd love to get a little tour of that place.
Great.
Well, did you check out the Heritage House too? I think the Heritage House would be a dope spot to check out.
Neat place.
We're going to take my kid there. We'll take my kid to go there, which would be great. That theater is beautiful too, by the way. Like it's just, you look at it.
It's a great theater.
You're like,
great resource for this town.
What is going on here?
Highly underused.
Yeah, highly underused.
I mean, it's been COVID.
Right.
So,
of course.
What are you going to do? But,
still
get back at her.
Get
back at her for sure.
Just a beautiful place.
We're doing the Christmas show there again this year.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
You have to come out this year.
Of course, I'll have to come out this year. Yeah. It's not, less fear of catching a virus. So, can't wait to come out and do that.
And then there's the train museums.
Oh, yeah. So my mom took my son to the train museum. Sweet. I haven't gone myself. Yeah. And then, of course, we went to the restore or the resale store.
The
Real Deal. Real Deal.
Yeah,
we went there.
Rito Environmental Action League.
That's right.
Real.
We went there today. It was closed. I would like to go back. I think that's my type of jam.
It's the kind of place you got to go once a week.
Yeah, because you never know, right? It's probably a lot of churn, a lot of stuff coming in and going out. The project I'm currently working on is I've been contracted by another friend who's writing a musical, but all the instruments are to be played on instruments made of garbage and discarded items. So my job that I've been contracted to do is to build some garbage instruments. So I'm looking, anyone who's listening to this, if you have like cool pieces of garbage that you are like, hey, this might make a good instrument, get it Matt, he'll get it me, I'll come and I'll pick it up. I'm looking for anything that'll resonate, anything that's cool. I'm trying to build a diddly bow. We're trying to build some sort of dulcimer. I'm trying to build some sort of like horn out of refuse, I'm trying to build and so anything with cranks, like an old egg beater or something, I'm looking for something like that too. So I'm going to build 4 or 5 instruments over the course of the summer.
I could help you probably with some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got like this old, it was this 70s lampshade.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like all flanged. It looks like the end of a tuba.
Beautiful.
And I had this part, I had my coworker 3D print me like a sort of valve, sort of like adapter connector.
Interesting.
So I can jam a kazoo in it.
Yeah.
And make a giant like horn
kazoo. Giant kazoo, yeah. I have an old trombone and I pulled off the slide and also fastened a kazoo to it. So the kazaxabone is what I call it.
Right. There's a lot of names for those. There's
kazoozabone. I think kazoozabone is better actually.
Amber plays one called kazobo.
Oh, it's like a kazoo and an oboe?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's like a double wax paper.
Yeah.
And it's got a horn about like that big on it. And before that, she played like one that was like a kazoo, but it had like an extra sort of mini gramophone sort of horn off the thing. And that was called a wazoo.
A wazoo, that's fun. And what I love about kazoos is that, of course, it's just like all your voice, right? It's not not dependent on intonations and like air releases and stuff.
Yeah.
So
she has an electric kazoo somewhere too.
Really?
It's got a pickup in it.
Jesus, that must be wild.
Yeah.
I want to run that through a distortion pedal.
I've got like a garbage like ripped out of the piano harp in my garage.
Oh,
you're welcome to it.
Yeah, I might come by. I'm going to come by and check that out. Absolutely.
I got a few empty like 5-gallon water jugs.
Great. That's awesome stuff. That's all stuff that I'm looking for. Like I'm trying to make like, you know what a diddly bow is, right?
No, I don't know that one.
A diddly bow is like you take a bottle. It's like an old, it's like a monocordal zither is what you can also call it.
Okay.
So you strap a board down, you get a bottle on it, and then you take essentially like a piece of baling wire and it goes over there. Sometimes they build them with a little pickup in them, you know, and you essentially play it like a slide. It's like a lap steel, but also like a Brazilian berimbau.
Yeah.
You know, the capoeira instrument, like da dang dang, and you can like, you just change
bend it.
Yeah, you bend it, right? And so that's how the diddly bow kind of works like that. So I'd love to build a bass diddly bow. Not
Max from Sepultura used to play one of those.
Of course.
A little bit.
Of course. That's like
the Roots album.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the big one. That's the big album is Roots, the Roots album. Oh, yeah. But my favorite Sepultura song will always be Biotech is Godzilla.
It's a good one.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Tom Waits had on one of his albums, he had like an instrument maker who like made, I think it was Rain Dogs or something.
Oh, probably. Or it might have been Swordfish Trombones.
Yes.
Right?
That's the one.
Because Swordfish Trombones, you listen to it and you're just like, what the hell is going on?
Like there's one instrument featured on that album that's just like, it's a giant like 10-foot long iron cross. Being hit with a hammer.
Of course, that's what he like did, you know. Or you'll ever listen to Scott Walker?
No.
You know Scott Walker?
I don't think so.
Scott Walker is wild. He used to be a 60s pop star. Essentially, he was part of like the Walker Brothers. Okay. Like harmonies and guitar trio, and then he just sort of like after that went full on sound creator and like all kinds of weird instruments, you know, an incredible vocalist. And like the music is so esoteric, sometimes it's unlistenable. You know, he has this one track about Mussolini, like where they killed Mussolini. And there's like you watch the documentary of it, and he wanted the sounds of like flesh being hit. So they brought in a whole side of beef into the recording studio. And they hired a professional boxer to like hit the beef. You know, I was like, oh, I love that. I love like weirdos who really like get dirty with music.
Yeah.
You know, I like that stuff.
Captain Beefheart.
Captain
Beefheart.
I don't really know Captain Beefheart, but like everyone's like, you would like Captain Beefheart. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I should probably listen to Captain Beefheart. And then I just put on Kate Bush. So,
right.
You know,
yeah.
Or I put on a lot of Kate Bush these days. My kid is really into Kate Bush, so we listen to Kate Bush a
Apparently,
lot.
everybody's getting back into Kate Bush.
I was on it before those kids.
Yeah.
I was on it before that. I was on Kate Bush before that. She's one of the people who popularized the Starlight organ, which is fascinating. I have her record, The Dreaming. You ever hear that one?
I've never really dug into Kate Bush myself. I know the hits.
Yeah, you got
the hits.
The hits, and her hits are good. The Dreaming is like the record that she released. I think it's 79, and it's borderline unlistenable. You know, EMI sat on it for 2 years, just like couldn't find a single, like wouldn't release it.
Yeah.
And then right after that, she releases Hounds of Love, which is like, you know, she's like, and now I'm a star.
Yeah.
So there you go. Kate Bush. Ooh, Kate Bush. Just the best. Just the best. But Captain Beefheart, I would love to get into some Captain Beefheart. I was really into this band, Man Man. Do you know Man Man? No. Anyway, they're crazy. That's another crazy band. Like, you know, like one of these like 8 to 12 people bands, depending on when you see them, and a lot of chanting in the band. Guys on saxophones and clarinets and brass, and then like bass and guitars. And
Lemon Bucket Orchestra.
Yeah, Little Lemon Bucket, but like Lemon Bucket is like also like really culturally rooted, and these guys are what I would just say like American white trash.
Right.
You know, I like, you know, I can get down with Lemon Bucket Orchestra, I guess, but it's like less my thing. You know. I mean, my wife is Slavic, so I'm like in Slavic culture now.
Yeah.
But I don't like get off on Slavic culture, you know, or at least the music in that kind of way, in the same way that I don't get off on like Italian culture. It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm North American. I moved to Europe. I lived there for 2 years, and the only thing I really learned was that I am not European.
Right.
And I can try really hard to like be European, and I did. I tried really hard to be European, but I am North American. Mm-hmm. I am Canadian, very specifically from Ontario. That's who I am. And it's cool. It's nice to know that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to know who you are.
It's good to know who you are. Good to know where you come from. You know, when I think about like my land, like where I come from, mm-hmm. I think about, you know, the Canadian Shield and pine trees and nice lakes and stuff. You know, I don't think about, you know, I'm sure when my dad thinks about that, he like thinks about where he grew up in Italy. You know, he thinks about the mountain and the pasture or whatever. But not me. I don't think about that stuff.
What age did your dad move here?
4.
Oh, okay.
You know, but it's like, yeah, it's got a nostalgic, you know, fantasy quality for him, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You know,
I've never been to Europe. I had the chance to go to Ireland, which is my homeland by blood, but I went on a shitty band tour instead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what a lot of us
passed it up.
did. Yeah, I passed up a lot of trips to Europe to go on shitty band tours. You know, honestly, Europe's cool, but it's like, it's not that cool. It's not that cool.
You got any plans in town, like theater-wise or project-wise? You can do anything in town?
Well, man, I have a back pocket full of old shows, you know, so slowly I will start remounting my shows here. I have a one-man sort of silent clown show that I do, which taps into my immigrant heritage. It's a man waits for a train that never comes, and he doesn't speak your language, and so he learns snippets from the audience, and we sort of share this moment in liminal space together, and we become friends until your train comes and takes you away. You know, so it's cold and inclement weather. I'll probably remount that. I have a sci-fi comedy rock show that I do called Unbridled Futurism.
Yeah, that's the one I saw a lot of posters for, like on Facebook while you were doing it.
Yeah, I really like flogged that one hard. I'm trying to get it turned into a web series as well. There's a lot of moving pieces around. There's a record sitting in the hopper, essentially like mostly made, that just needs to be mixed and released, but it's trying to get all that stuff lined up to do it again. And the world is different. Like I wrote it between 2017 and 2018, and then toured it throughout 2018 and 2019. The last time I played it was February 2020.
Oh, wow.
In Ottawa. And then I went back to Toronto. A week later, my grandmother died. I came back to Ottawa for her funeral. I went back to Toronto. I worked one day at my coffee shop job, and then the world shut down. And then I woke up, and, you know, and it's all different now. So, and I feel like I lost a lot of that momentum too. You know, I know a lot of people got really online during the pandemic. Yeah. I did the full opposite. I just like shut down all my accounts. I just like couldn't handle a newborn child and a pandemic and social media.
Yeah.
And so I lost a lot of momentum in those 2 years. You know, I wrote a musical during that time that has just since been kind of scrapped. You know, I've been working on a musical for 5 years, and then I completed it during the pandemic and shopped it to a bunch of people, and it was just like, there's just no interest in this, man. Like, there's just, you know, it's good. Your songs are good. The story is interesting, but I can't do an 8-person cast musical. Like you know, theaters are tapped out. It's probably not going to happen. So that's just like gone, you know. I lost that piece of work. I made a music video, so that's waiting to be released along with the record. And so eventually I'll do the sci-fi comedy rock show here somewhere. It needs a rewrite now because, of course, it was written in 2017 to 2018. Right. And I'd love it to be a bit more.
Is there like current events jokes in it? Or?
There is, absolutely. Right, I play an alternate version of myself. I play Captain Nick Gaetano, who's from an Earth where the Soviets made it to the moon first.
Okay.
And so and also all It's like this sort of like quasi, just like very beautiful Earth, very like socialist, very artistic, like on the Earth that I come from, that Captain Nick Gaetano comes from, scientists are also jazz musicians, the greatest theoretical scientist on Earth is Sun Ra. Right. So, he invents faster than light travel. I'm the first person to travel at the speed of light. I break the faster than light barrier and I find myself, unstuck in reality. And I come back to Earth, and I come back to an Earth that is like what I call garbage Earth. That is like the full polar opposite of the place I come to. Very dirty, very stinky, and I come back to an Earth that is in the middle of a pandemic. This is what I wrote like back then, right? I come back and there's a pandemic, there's lockdowns going on, and I find myself on this Earth, and the story goes from there. And so I wrote that before this happened, and then I like performed it like right as this was becoming a thing. And there was like a moments of paranoia during the pandemic where I was like, did I write this into existence? And then you're like, no, don't be so selfish. Don't be so selfish. Like you didn't do this. This has nothing to do with you. But there's moments where you're like, did I do this? Did I unleash this on the world? I hope not. So I want to just kind of do a little rewrite. There's a little rewrite at the end where I end up on your Earth, this Earth now, and I tell you about all the places I've been. But I think it's maybe funnier if I end up back on garbage Earth, to sort of like, and this Earth is actually garbage Earth. Right. So a little rewrite to go on there. That's a thing that I'll be doing. I just wrapped up a run of my children's theater show, Country Shaped Like Stars, which is toured all over Canada and the U.S. At the Children's Festival. We were going to try and do it here, but timing didn't work out. Maybe next year there's a chance that it'll go on tour again. And so I'd love to play it in this town. It's like really beautiful, heartbreaking love story. Where the two performers like operate all the lights ourselves. It's like really lo-fi, DIY, very, very punk rock in a lot of ways kind of theater, and then, I haven't decided what I'm doing next. That's sort of like now we're just sort of figuring out what is next. I would love to build a puppet show for this town that's like specific to this town and like uses people from the town and uses their stories. I have I don't want to say too much about it.
Of course.
Because
can't give too much away.
I can't give too much away. And I also don't want to promise and over deliver or like, change my mind. And then, someone has to. What I've learned being an artist all these years is like, if you want to get something done, tell people that you're going to do it, because then they'll like hold you to account. Yeah. So I'm still in the like, figuring out if it's like financially feasible, figuring out like what the whole thing about that is. So I just don't want to say anything about it. But if it does happen, it's going to be fucking bonkers, and you will be lucky to see it.
Nice. I'll come.
No, you're going to be in it. You don't understand.
I'm going to be in it.
You'll be in it.
Oh,
you'll be in it. Yeah.
I'll have to come then.
I'm really like, I love the idea of trying to take, there's so many talented people who live in Smiths Falls, which I just like figured out like already. There's so many like excellent musicians who live here. There's so many, there's like artisans and like artist people, like there's people with like construction skills. There's so many talented people in this town. And I love the idea of finding ways to like really make this, really make a town thing where you use the musicians. You have a live orchestra of the musicians in town. You have a live, I'm really big on now working with like, in the theater that I create. I like to make, so when I say theater, I'm not talking about like a play. I don't like plays. I never liked plays. That's not what I got involved with. I like spectacle and like, happenings and events, so this idea, and what I work with a lot now is live music and video incorporated together. So that's really what I'm trying to, music video. I grew up on music videos. Like I just watched so many music videos when I was a kid. Yeah, me too. Right. Like it was just like, it was cultural, currency. Yeah. You see this video, you watched The Wedge last night. Did you watch Top 40? Music videos like really became an art form while we were teenagers. Totally. And I love the format of music videos. So I'm trying to take that sort of same frisson that music videos give you and like put it on stage for you live, happening live in front of you. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I'll admit I'm not the biggest fan of like normal plays.
myself.
Who is?
Well, some people, I guess.
Some people, I guess.
I don't know. It's never really been for me. Daniel Tosh says something about plays that really resonated with me. And he says, if I wanted to see real people doing things that were possible, I'd go outside.
Yeah. And I'm very much of the mind that like North American audiences specifically are way more immersed in the storytelling languages of film and television and comic books. That's like what we understand. That's our lingua franca.
Yeah.
This idea of like putting on a play, put on a Shakespeare, put on Samuel Beckett, this is from like, this is colonialism, like in your brain. You know what I mean? That's like colonial hangover. Like they do that in Europe. That's their culture. They can keep it, When I talk about theater, the reason why I use theater is because of granting bodies. That's the way that I sort of, if I'm just like, I put on live things that happen and people do things. There's no way to find funding for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Theater is at least a shorthand that I can use because it's still live people performing in space and time in a live setting in front of you.
Yeah.
So the theater that I make is like really different from a lot of the theater that you may have been exposed to in your life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's probably a good strategic move, especially if you're doing stuff that's funny.
Yeah.
Because if you just straight up label yourself comedy, bye funding.
Well, I tell you, there's a bunch of people I know. I won't call them friends. We're not like we don't hang out all the time, but there's a bunch of people in the industry who've been working very hard to have comedy recognized as art.
Yeah.
Sandra Battellini from Toronto has been like, this has been like her 10-year crusade essentially to be like, it is art.
Yeah.
It's not just some dumb shit that people work like secondary jobs so that they can be stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
Like it's real art, and like not anybody can just get up and tell a joke. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of risk. It's a lot of, especially in this day and age, it's a lot of risk. It's a lot of hard work, and like a lot of like falling down and picking yourself up and trying things out and realizing that they don't work and going home and polishing them. It's harder to make people laugh than it is to make people cry, I think.
But I mean, theater, you got those masks, right?
That's right.
You got the sad one, you got the laughing one.
And you cannot have laughter without tragedy, and you cannot have tragedy without laughter.
Yeah.
Right? They just like a nice handshake, always together. And so, I like incorporate puppets. I incorporate like all kind of things that are larger than life. When and if this thing that I'm sort of dreaming up happens, it'll be cool. I got two sort of things in this vein that like I'm working also on like so the other thing I can tell you about is I'm working on a sci-fi puppet adventure. That's like a sci-fi video puppet adventure. So it's like it's not going to be a puppet show. It'll be like miniatures and dioramas that are like filmed and live projected as the show happens with live actors, right? So it'll be live actors interacting with like Muppet puppets and all the stunts performed by miniatures and stuff. I think it'll be really, really funny and really, really fun, So we're in the writing process for that. And then this other thing I got going on, and then we'll hopefully get the sci-fi comedy rock show up and going again. But we're in a different landscape now, Matt. It's like the touring opportunities have sort of disintegrated. The programming opportunities have disintegrated. It's not the same cultural landscape as it was before. So trying to figure out how to stay relevant and stay all that stuff is really, a lot of my life is like preoccupied with just like, how are we going to pay bills this month?
Yeah. What do you think are the long-term effects from a pandemic on a theater world such as yours? I
mean, wow, that's like really. So the theater is the theater. And of course you see this with live music too, right? All these art forms are predicated on like, we're all going to come together in a dark space and sit close to each other, breathe the same air, and experience a thing in live real time. When you have something that happens, and this is like a global cultural thing that happened, right? It's a global cultural trauma that has happened to the entire world. We've all experienced the same thing. This thing happens where it's like, it is dangerous to go inside. It is dangerous to be in another place with one person, dangerous. 150 other people, oh my God, there's just like, The long-term effects are, I had this conversation just a week ago with another friend in the industry, and we're just like, maybe it's done. There is a world, there is a version of this world where no one ever goes to live performance again. That's not happening. That's not true.
Yeah.
But the theater specifically is this like really specific casualty because it was already so niche before that.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't, Broadway's a different beast. Listen, we're not talking about Broadway here. We're talking about like indie theater productions, even a place like Soul Pepper in Toronto, which has got a 300-seat theater. I don't know that they're going to be able to fill that house anytime soon. And everything in our world functions on razor thin profit margins.
Yeah.
So, you're going to see a lot of that stuff implode and go away, but that's also then opportunity for cultural renewal, right? Like you can't have new stuff happen without the old stuff disappearing. So It will be bad and then maybe it will be better. That's my pretty vague prediction for it.
Yeah.
People want it to come back. We want it to come back, but we also don't want to get sick and go to the hospital, So, and like trying to mitigate the things that you like taught yourself to do to stay safe during this time, and then like the new reality that's sort of hitting you now is like, how do I behave in public? Who am I hugging? Who am I handshaking with? You know what I mean? Oh, I have a scratchy throat. Should I go out? Like,
yeah, I don't see people caring too much anymore.
No,
they're moving. They're getting back to normal real quick at this point.
Yeah.
From my vantage point,
real quick. Sometimes too quick for my liking.
Yeah,
And
it's it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment, but it's.
But it also smells to me like people. It's like this moment of just like, just forget that this happened. I lost 2 years of my life. Forget that this happened. I don't want to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about what they did during the pandemic. Nobody wants to talk about like the mental anguish they might have gone through. Nobody wants to talk about like, I was locked in a house with my wife and kid like all the frickin' time. Like, or like, I had to take the bus every day to work in a mask, like 3 masks that I had to wear. And then I had to work at a Costco all day. Like, and my coworkers all around me got sick, nobody wants to talk about that. And it's the same thing that happened after the Second World War. It's the same thing that happens after Vietnam. People don't want to talk about that stuff. We come home, we have PTSD essentially from it. I'm not trying to say that the PTSD you have from a pandemic is the same as like Juno Beach.
No, but I think that I was reading sort of the history of pandemics.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Through it. And it's like, there's so many that have happened. Granted, this one's different. We're 8 billion people now. The air travel, like everything. We're such a global.
It is a
society.
It is a disease. It is a virus of mass transit.
Yeah.
This pandemic could not have happened 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a virus that has evolved to be in ventilation, to be like it's to be carried around by planes. It's evolved to be that way.
But pandemics and health scares and it's part of who we are. But when this one hit, we're like, this has never happened before. It's never happened. Well, nothing ever happens exactly the same way twice, but yes, it has. But to your point, it's like people stop talking about it. Yeah. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to think about it. It's like this sort of collective amnesia.
Absolutely.
Almost,
And that's what we're living through right now, is that collective amnesia. In a few years' time, people will be ready to talk about it, provided that there are the proper mental health supports, provided that the health care system does not fully collapse, provided that, we're not in, I don't know, some sort of like civil war or something, right? And let's not get too dark here about it, but like provided that there is still societal stability, maybe in 5 years we will be able to talk about it again. But I also, so a lot of the time we talk about like, trauma is great, like for art, it spurs great art making, but there's usually great stories that come along with a lot of that stuff. Right.
Yeah.
And the story of like, I made sourdough bread until I shit myself is like less interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, it was just really hard, just like doing the same thing every day. Nobody wants to see art like that. Nobody wants to see like maybe there's like a performance artist who's going to do like a cool durational piece. It's like, it's a week and I just live in my apartment and it's called COVID-19 or whatever,
Did you watch Bo Burnham's.
Yeah, of course I watched. Everyone watched Bo Burnham. We all experienced the same. We all watched Tiger King. We all watched Bo Burnham's Inside, you know. I liked Inside. I don't like Bo Burnham. I'm just going to say that out loud. I don't like Bo Burnham in his the stuff that he did before. I can't get over the way he sings. It just really irks me.
Yeah, I can see that.
It has this musical theater quality that I just want to, it makes me grind my teeth. But I really liked that Inside. I thought it was really, really good. Really clever, really
just kind of dark.
My kind of dark, and also my kind of auteurism. I dream of having the time and space to just do a thing and do it all myself. I dream of that sort of stuff, you know, and to see someone else who's definitely more talented than me be able to do that. I was just like, oh, this is my type of stuff, because I see the production around it too. I know the ins and the outs, what it took to film that, to set up the shot, to write the song, to craft the bit, to then edit it all together. It's very, very inspiring.
It's nice to do all that stuff and feel like you painted the painting.
That's right.
The whole thing.
Yeah. That's a lot of my life and my oeuvre has been about that. I like to do everything, DIY. Punk rock taught me DIY. Do it yourself.
Totally.
Right. And and you can hire people to do those things. And I have always been of the philosophy as an organizer that it's you can hire the people to do those things, and it's good to hire people to do those things. Yeah. More collaborators is better, but I won't ask you to do something until I know what the ins and outs of your job are. Mm-hmm. Because I've worked for enough people where they don't know the ins and outs of my job, and they put insane demands on you, and you say, you don't know what it takes to edit this piece of audio. You give me an hour-long podcast to edit. Yeah. And you're I need it tomorrow. It's that's not going to happen. Yeah. It's not, I'm not going to grind away on this until my hair falls out to give you a podcast tomorrow. That's not possible, but you don't know because you've never opened up a DAW. So, I need this video edited yesterday. Yeah. Well, man, you don't know how to use Premiere Pro. So don't tell me how to do this stuff. Yeah. Don't, so I've always been really immersive with that sort of, I know how to use a DAW. I know how to use an editing suite. I know how to use Photoshop. I know how to do all this stuff. I know how to build my own puppets and my own props. I know how to make my own costumes if I absolutely have to. I hate making costumes. That's hard stuff,
I hate editing.
Okay, well, you hired me then. I like editing. I think it's really fun, but I won't ask someone to do it until I know.
I have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it because sometimes it's cost is cost.
I've never trusted anybody else to do it. Yeah. I know the shots.
That's right.
I'd rather be shooting than editing. I wish I could just sort of blink my eyes and the edit would happen. Yeah. Because it's in my head. Yeah. It's just all the time I have to spend to get it out. I need to start composing shot lists.
Yes, that's the key, right?
That's the thing about DIY. I find sometimes you teach yourself, you sometimes miss certain procedures.
Oh,
that some people learn that make things a lot more efficient, and then by the time I actually learn them, I find I'm too set in my ways. But I have my process.
That's right. That's right. I try to learn best practices. I've tried to learn best practices over time, but it always. It doesn't always work because also sometimes I'll learn best practice in the middle of a project and just be oh, I'm not going to start over so I can do best practices on this. Forget this. I'm just going to keep going this, whatever this muck I made is just going to have to figure my way out of it, But I like that part of the puzzle. For me as an artist, that's part of the fun is you sometimes create yourself into a corner and you're I have to problem solve my way out of my own labyrinth. And that's fun,
Yeah, I would agree with that. I find when I create things, I don't like to do too much planning because I can't plan for it anyway.
Yep.
I don't know how it's going to turn out.
That's right.
We'll see.
I like to allow a lot of room for improvisation, especially in my performance. I like to, but I do try to be conscious of okay, we're going to shoot this thing and I'm going to kind of improvise for 45 minutes, but with my team, I'll be okay, we're going to improvise around this funny idea. We're going to improvise around this funny idea and this funny idea and this funny idea. And ideally, in my head, right, I can break up these shots into like a mini narrative, these shots into the B story, these shots into the C story, so we can, we're sort of like I'm trying to have a plan, like a little bit of a plan, but it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. Sometimes, and sometimes you get inspired in the moment and you just got to like go with it. That's where the best stuff happens.
Yeah, that's how I do pretty much all my music videos like that.
Yeah.
That's born mainly from just lack of available budget. That's how it's born.
Yeah.
And sometimes a band might come to me with like a script or something. And I'm like, hold on, wait. Let's take a look at our budget, because that doesn't really allow for script.
That's right.
And writing and revisions and actors, but like you were mentioning before, like the 90s, like that was late 80s, like early 90s, the music videos from that time period, like I put them on my Roku all the time while I'm cooking, just on my kitchen TV that I have now. And Chili Peppers, I love the Chili Peppers videos.
Their videos were always so good.
I love their videos. They're just wacky and random and fun and inventive and creative and imaginative. And
what's your favorite Chili Peppers video?
Probably my favorite one from back in the day would have been Breaking the Girl.
You're breaking the girl.
Yeah, I really liked Breaking the Girl.
I always liked
their
the
costumes and how they're all out in there. And
that's yeah.
I
was like, Real Men Don't Kill Coyotes.
I don't know that one.
I don't know the song, but I remember the video. Like the video is very striking to me.
Yeah.
It's just like, what's going on here? Like, there's a lot of people could get away with a lot more, I feel, back then. Like now we're so prescriptive sometimes.
Chili Peppers still make pretty badass music videos.
Yeah.
I saw one the other day.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. It could have been 5 years old, could have been brand new, could have been 10 years old. I don't know. But it was, more recent than not. I don't even know how to describe it. At one point, Flea's just like sitting in a sink.
Oh, I love it. That's good. I like that stuff. That's funny.
I liked when they played the Super Bowl.
I don't remember that.
They make everybody lip sync on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They didn't want to. They're
right.
Like, we're a real band. Like we want to play. And they're like, no, like we cannot allow that risk of failure. It is like, if you don't want to play, don't play. But you're not playing for real, basically.
Right.
That's the story I heard, at least. And so they were like, okay, well, it's the friggin' Super Bowl, so we don't want to say no. We don't want to pass this up. So if we have to lip sync, we are going to make a mockery of the whole shit.
Oh, I do remember this.
And they were like singing to the wrong side of the mic.
Yes,
and
that's
just
right.
like flapping their hands with their instruments, like clearly not playing, not in sync at all. Just like
that's good. Just do it, guys. Just do it. Just do it. Love it. I love Flea. I think Flea is like such an interesting dude. He's so wild. And I love that Frusciante came back to the band after like losing his mind to drugs. I think that's cool.
Yeah, he's back again. Is this time like number 7 or something?
Something like that. Yeah. Remember when Dave Navarro was in the band and then they made a record with him and then they just like disavowed the whole record? It was like, that record doesn't exist anymore.
Aeroplane.
Yeah.
It's my aeroplane.
That's right. Yeah. They also did a cover of, was it? Your love is like a roller coaster, baby.
Yeah, that was from the Beavis and Butthead soundtrack.
Oh, look at my just like time, just like Oh, I Sold a Squeeze is one of my favorite songs and videos. Because it came out for Coneheads, and there's a Conehead man in it, but it's actually part of a freak show.
Right.
It's got a real like, what's that movie? Gooble gobble, one of us. You ever seen that movie? The old movie about like the old freak show? It's like from the 30s.
No.
God, it's so good. I'll remember it someday. It's where Gooble gobble, one of us comes from, and there it's like it's all these people who work in the freak show, and they're like behind the scenes. It's
must have that little pinhead.
Yeah, it's got a pinhead in it. It's got like a little man, and he's like in love with the diva, the singer. And there's this really fucked up scene where not fucked up, but like just like slightly off, and they like sit around the table and they do this thing, gooble gobble one of us, and they like do like a communion, but like, like kind of a mock communion, and they initiate the singer woman into their gang. It's really, really good.
That makes sense. It sounds familiar to me, but I think I'm probably thinking of like a Simpsons spoof. Of that
exactly.
Line.
I'm
One
sure.
of us.
One of us. That's right. Yeah, you've probably seen a Simpsons spoof of it for sure. I can't remember what its name is now. That's too bad. Good videos. I like all that kind of stuff. I think that music videos were like a huge formational part of my my childhood and like teenage years. But then of course, tell me, do you ever have this? Can I ask you a question on your podcast?
Of course, yeah.
So I spend a lot of the 90s like deeply in punk rock.
Yeah.
Right? Like underwater, immersed in punk rock, records that you couldn't hear on the radio. You know what I mean? Like trading 7 inches and mixtapes with people, like actively divorced from popular culture.
Okay.
In a lot of ways, right? Yeah. And sort of like resurfaced when I went to university in the 2000s. Like, oh yeah, this is what pop culture is. Do you have like? I have essentially like a blind spot. Like I couldn't tell you what music was out between the years of like 95 and 2000. I don't know, other than like Mambo No. 5.
Yeah.
I don't know what was popular.
Yeah, I probably have a similar blind spot. Probably not as big as what you're describing.
Like I don't remember, you know what I mean? I'm like, what was the best song that came out in like 95? Were Eagles There by the Misfits? That's where my brain is, It ends at Dookie. Dookie comes out.
Yeah.
And then I know Mambo No. 5 is around because I think I did like a comedy routine to it during that time.
Yeah.
And then I started listening to classic rock again in the 2000s after.
There was definitely a bit of a rock resurgence, I think. I'm thinking of like a Matchbox 20.
Yeah, just absolute garbage.
I liked Matchbox 20. Okay. Hey, Rob Thomas is a talented dude.
Sure.
He is.
Sure.
The Santana, that was big in the late 90s.
That's right.
That whole Santana stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
On the pop side, you had Britney all through the late 90s.
Of course I remember Britney all through the 90s.
A lot of Pink.
A lot of
Christina.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, okay, Christina. Yeah. That's right.
And then, going into like the 2000s, that's when like...
Puffy and Mace, right? Puffy and Mace was around
late 90s.
Late 90s,
for sure. Puffy and Mace.
There we go.
And B.I.G. like had a lot of mainstream hits.
I remember I remember Tupac, and I remember Biggie, I remember Wu-Tang
and then
Clan,
that was like Destiny's Child,
right,
and the precursor to Beyonce's career. That's
right,
and stuff. So yeah, I personally don't think that was a very good time for like pop music.
Yeah, no,
I've always had a soft spot for pop music. Like I think that like there are times when pop music just gets overtaken by the whole sort of fashion.
Yes.
Of it. And then there are times when I think people get bored with like the flashy new thing being waved in front of them and actually return to the notion of the music being really good too.
Right, yeah.
Backstreet
Boys was from that era?
Oh yeah, late 90s Backstreet Boys for sure.
Because there's like some solid songwriting.
That's
Backstreet Boys songs.
Max I can't remember
the guy who put the band together. Is that who it is?
No, there's like one guy who wrote like almost all the Backstreet hits. He wrote half the NSYNC hits. Like just like so many.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
He wrote.
Is he one of the guys who's from the what's that Swedish gang called like the Matrix?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's Swedish. He was like just like in some like B-level Euro band,
Aqua.
And then just started writing hits like crazy.
That's cool.
But like Justin Timberlake, like his solo stuff is amazing.
Yeah, but I associate that more as like 2000s, right? Like the record that he did with Pharrell doesn't come out until 2002. I'm thinking 2001, maybe Maybe it's like the end of the 90s.
Justified was like early 2000s, and that one was okay.
Yeah.
And
then the one he did with Timbaland comes out like while I'm in Europe. It comes out in 2005 is when like Cry Me a River.
Yeah.
Right?
And that was a solid record.
That's an incredible record.
But
Future Sex, Love, Sounds. Yeah.
And his one after that.
Which is the one after that?
It's like a double album. And it's the one with Mirror on it.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet record. Every song on it is like 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's like, doesn't fit the pop mold at all, but it's a.
But they're like more for clubs, right? They're more for clubs. It's like, you can play this 7-minute song and people are just going to dance the whole way through.
I would play it on Sunday afternoons. Like, I love that record.
Okay.
Great record.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of the 2000s. The 2000s becomes like clear again, you know, but that whole high school period was just like.
I got pretty immersed in metal.
Yeah.
I love punk. I mean, I loved the Misfits. Thing for me with punk is a
lot of it's bad.
A lot of it's bad. That's really what it is. A lot of it's bad.
Yeah.
A lot of it's really bad.
Absolutely.
You know? And for me, I was like, okay, so I've got 2 Misfits collections.
Yeah.
I've got Rancid Out Come the Wolves.
Great record.
What else do I need?
You need some Dead Kennedys.
Yeah, I'll throw a little Dead Kennedys in there. Sure.
Gotta have. My favorite record was always Frankenchrist, but the one there's like a compilation one that's also was like just enough to have, you know.
It just covers the basis for me. You know, there's not. I find so many punk bands aren't really doing anything different or unique, and there's probably so many people who could totally educate me and defeat that statement. I don't know, but there's other records. That Gallows record, Grey Britain, such an amazing record.
Oh yeah,
that came out in like 2008.
Okay,
and that it's an amazing record. It's amazing. If you ever heard that one, check it out because that is like. I
was a big fan of Rage Against the Machine's Evil Empire.
Oh yeah,
I was a huge fan of that record. That's like one of the like pop sort of. It's not pop, I guess, but it's in the pop sphere.
I mean, it's mainstream.
It's mainstream. You know, that's one of the things that I remember from that time.
It's pretty punk too.
It's very punk. Also, very good rapping.
I mean, it's punk from an attitude perspective.
Yeah,
musically, it's not so punk.
But this is, you know, the thing that I learned afterwards when you walked away from the music, because you're absolutely right. It mostly sucks. Is that punk rock isn't about the music. Mm-hmm. Punk rock's about, you know, heads and hearts, you know, brains and hearts. That's what it was, and guts. Like that's what it was. You know, you can be a country music singer and still like you can be Billy Bragg. Billy Bragg is punk. Mm-hmm. You know, that dude is punk as fuck. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a punk guy. Those guys from Sonic Youth are punk. You know, I mean, I guess they were still punks then, but like they're not really punk. You know, the Pixies are punk. You know, yeah.
Musically, I gravitated towards the metal.
Yes, absolutely.
But attitude-wise, I was always like, it was part of the punk scene.
Yeah,
and I loved that. You know.
Yeah, of course.
That sort of we don't care.
We don't care.
We don't care.
That's right. Oh man, because you used to do a lot of Danzig.
I still love Danzig.
Still did a lot of Danzig back then.
You ever seen him? Live?
No, I think I just like look over him, right? Isn't he like super tired?
Well, he's up on the stage.
He wears platform shoes.
I saw him. I went to see him. When did I see him? I saw him in like 2008.
Okay,
my first time ever seeing him.
Okay.
And I kind of wished I didn't go.
Yeah, it was probably like past his prime.
It was definitely past his prime.
Yeah.
He was like, it's just, I don't know. He was all thinning on top. And you know what? I mean, lots of people are thinning on top. That's not really a problem. It's just he was trying to look 29.
I don't like that.
You know? He came out, he was wearing like the same kind of shirt he's wearing in like the Mother video, like some kind of, it's like a shiny tight shirt, but he was fat.
Yeah.
You know, and his gut was sticking out and his hair is like, it was like so jet black that like, You know that.
You know, someone had like spray clubbed his hair like before he went on stage. Yeah.
And there was this one point where he like in the middle of a song he spit.
Uh-huh.
But it just it landed on his shirt. And it stayed there for like 3 songs.
Oh God.
I was like, oh, this is ruining a lot for me right now.
Really embarrassing right now, man.
Ruining a lot for me. But then by about halfway through the show, I just let it go.
Yeah, it's what it is, man.
I just let it go, and then I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He didn't have the voice that he once did.
No, it's hard to.
He didn't have the physique he once did.
No.
And I don't ever remember him in the old footage doing this thing where he holds the microphone like.
No, that was like one of his. Wasn't that his thing? Like he held it like upside down.
I guess, but it was just. He wasn't even singing into it half the time.
Do you remember that band Future Islands?
I don't think so.
Oh, they were like big for like, I'm going to say like they were really big in 2013. They hit it with this like hit, and the singer had like Danzig energy, but they were like, you know, like synthy pop, you know.
I know the Lonely Island.
I do that. I know the Lonely Island as well. Yeah, very good. No, you know that song is like seasons change. No, you know that one?
No.
That's so good.
It was like a Nickelback kind of.
It's like got synthy bits to it. Okay. Like it's like really, it's the way I sang it doesn't do it justice. Like he's got a voice like that, but that's not the music that you're hearing. You know?
Future Islands.
I'll
check it out.
Yeah, the singer had like some Danzig energy about him. You know. There's a clip when they first were on Letterman, and it's just like he doesn't stop moving, and he's like so intense. He's like a predator on stage, and I can just remember everybody I know being like, "Did you see that band on Letterman? Did you see them?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's fucking crazy, so good." Yeah, Future Islands. He had some Danzig energy, and I was like, "Young Danzig, very good, very good." We need like someone with energy like that in the world.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish is like. I don't get it. I don't get Billie Eilish, but I know that a lot of kids like go gaga bonkers for it, you know? And, I mean, she's really interesting. Like they're like, her and her brother are like crazy producers, homeschooled, just like make records.
Yeah.
You know, I watch a lot of actually like Logic Pro tutorials about like how they make their stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I love like how sample oriented they are, like getting drum beats that are just like, oh, I struck a match, you know, or I wanted to like, you know, to do a bottle thing, and we like used all that. I was like, oh, that's smart, that's interesting, you know, and I like how they make that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
I like listening to Mark Ronson talk a lot too, you know, because he's just like, he's all over that kind of stuff. And you think that he's like, sometimes when I hear him talk, I think there's like, oh, does he have like a learning disability or something? But like he's just got, it's because he grew up in England and Jersey, so he's got this like weird accent that just like mushes together. Yeah, and you're just like, I can't understand him half the time, but God, he's a genius, you know, and he knows how to put stuff together really well. He's like a sample head, you know. I like listening to him talk about stuff. I like listening to Questlove talk about stuff, you know. All these people who come from like a very different music tradition than me, you know. But who make like just full on bangers all the time. Yeah. You think Billie Eilish has Danzig energy?
Danzig energy. No, she's got like the opposite. Yeah. She's got like, I'm just trying to think of like somebody who has like, I don't know, something different.
Yeah. Yeah. You know? I'll give you that too.
I guess that's where I was going with that.
I like how she's so bad. She's always wearing baggy stuff, you know, like she doesn't have to lean into like sexuality and stuff. You know who I think is really dope? Post Malone.
Yeah, he's pretty dope.
Oh, so good. I was working at the Scotiabank place in Toronto on the 2 nights that he played. It was, I mean, you know, you're like, there's so many young kids here carding. Yeah. But he sounded so good. Yeah. You know?
I'm not the biggest, I don't love the auto-tune thing.
Sure. I mean, I can
understand. It's just, I never really have. I get, it's a sound. I get it. You know, it's a sound.
Especially like the pushed auto-tune is like, that's the sound, right?
And I think I started paying attention actually, I think it was just during the pandemic that I really actually started paying attention to Post Malone after he did that live stream where he covered like Nirvana songs.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
It was awesome.
Yeah, because he comes from like a rock and folk background, which is so wild, you know?
Yeah, and it's like there's some of those guys out there who I just really like voices. I like real voices.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Danzig. When Danzig 5 came out, I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Like he's double tracked, he's distorted. I don't want to hear your voice distorted.
No.
I want to hear your voice.
Yeah.
You know? So that record took me, I actually years later got into that record because there's sweet tracks on it. But it's just like
the production threw you
it's
for
completely
a loop.
different. Yeah, it just really threw me off. And then there's musicians out there who you think are maybe not good.
Yeah.
Because they're using that sound.
Yeah.
But they're using the sound because they want the sound.
But
they actually are good.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
T-Pain can actually really, really fucking sing.
Of course, but he sounds like so many other people, right? The reason why he got into auto-tune is because he's like, I needed something to differentiate myself.
Yeah.
You know? And then unfortunately it becomes that's your thing now, T-Pain. You don't get to not do auto-tune, you know?
Yeah.
You don't get to not do that. But Post has got he's got a really interesting voice and a really interesting take on hip hop sort of stuff. You know what I mean? The way he puts his words together is interesting. I
just started getting into a little more hip hop again.
Yeah.
I found this guy called R.A. the Rugged Man.
No, I don't know that. That sounds good.
Oh, he's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
He's one of the best rappers I've ever had the pleasure of enjoying.
Very good.
And very, very 90s. Like he originally came out in the 90s, but
Okay.
got shelved and was just underground for years. It was kind of still underground, but he's sort of finally making a bit more of a comeback over the past decade or so.
That's cool.
I think you'd like him. We'll show him to you.
Cool.
And you'd love his fucking music videos. He's super 90s. He has
great
fun with shit. His music videos are great.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I've been listening to the hip hop that I sort of get in my head these days is no, I haven't listened to a lot of hip hop recently. We just got back on Chance the Rapper recently, which is Chance is interesting to me because he's very, very Christian and I'm very, very not. But I love his music, you know, and I'm listening to a Christian rapper and I don't care. Mm-hmm. You know, I really like that.
I try to keep my guard not too high.
Yeah, of course.
In terms of that, and then in terms of from Billie Eilish to Post Malone, it's so easy to get older and just think that new music is shit because you don't understand it.
No, that's
when I first heard Billie Eilish, I was like, what is this? She's just whispering. Yeah. She's not singing. She's just whispering. But maybe there's something here, you know, and I think the tracks are great. And it's I just love the chances that are being taken in that. And you can tell, I mean, to me, it sounds like there's probably not a lot of classical musical training there. And maybe I'm wrong. But
I think maybe her brother plays a little bit of stuff, but
well, that's what I'm saying. I know he he does most of the music and produces the tracks. It's just the stuff that I hear him come up with is not the kind of stuff that I have come to expect from people who are classically trained.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the kind of stuff I have come to expect from people who aren't. And aren't in those patterns of playing by those traditional rules, you know, because some of it's just kind of wacky.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should show each other some music.
You like Maggie Rogers?
I don't know her.
Oh, another folky who went all kind of EDM-y stuff. Yeah. And she's got a great voice. Beautiful voice. Excellent drops.
Yeah.
Just so tight. So good.
I mean, music, it moves at the speed of light these days, right?
It sure does.
We're growing up on punk scenes. There was New York punk, East Coast this, at West Coast that.
You'd be passing around records that were made in the 70s. Now. You know, we were passing records around that were made 20 years ago, and it's being you got to hear this, you know. And now it's it's all available, and it's hot for a week, and then it's gone again.
Yeah.
You know,
sounds of scenes are not bound by geography anymore.
That's right. They're bound by I don't know how you get a scene going anymore. You know,
collective tastes across that just sort of resonate and come up, across the world.
But there has to be something about like critical mass that happens too, right? Like there has to be enough people to like watch a show. There has to be enough people like in a certain place to make it viable for you to tour to that place so that you can make income, right? Like, whether...
Well, I'm sure you and I could talk about music for another 5 hours.
Yeah, I'm sure that we could. Probably not the focus of this podcast, though.
No, this podcast doesn't have too much of a focus, other than being about Smiths Falls.
Woo!
Yeah. I let it go off the rails. Anyway, me and Nick are going to keep talking, folks.
Yeah.
But you don't get to hear this stuff. We're going to chat more 90s music. Thanks for coming out, man.
Hey,
we'll
thanks
keep
for
talking,
having me.
but
this is great.
Yeah, say a hello and goodbye to the listeners, because we're at the 2-hour mark now.
Holy shamoly.
The 2-hour mark of our little podcast here.
It's been a real pleasure being here.
Thanks, man.
Thanks so much. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe.
Subscribe.
Big shout outs to all the sponsors, and of course a round of applause for Mr. Matt Connell for putting this thing on, having me here.
Nick D. Gaetano, folks.
Woo!
And that was my talk with Mr. Nick D. Gaetano. What a pleasure it is to have him back in my life, and how lucky our town is to have him here with us. Looking forward to many good times ahead with Nick. Thanks for tuning in, folks. One more big thank you to our sponsors, our 3 season sponsors. This show would not be here this year without Say To Bakery, Howard Kelford and Dubois, and Andrus Grocer. Show them some love. Show them some love. Bye, friends. Till next time.
Take my hand, but you ain't heard nothing yet. And in the hall, we act just grand, but you ain't heard nothing yet. When we talk about the weather, then we cuddle close together. That's great. But when